I sat through an hour's worth of traffic to see this movie. That feels like a bad idea at this point. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. Okay, guys, let's review Mortal Engines. This is the film retelling of a famous four-part series entitled Mortal Engines. It's about the aftermath of what was referred to as the 60-Minute War. So this is directed by Christian Rivers, starring Hugo Weaving, Hera Hilmar, and Robert Sheehan, and Jihae Kim. So the thing about this movie is this is Christian Rivers' first directorial debut. He cut his teeth working with Peter Jackson on a lot of his projects, including the Hobbit series specifically. He's a very visual guy. He was a visual supervisor for a number of movies. He did a lot of second unit directing and things like that for The Hobbit. He's got a pretty visually focused career. That all shows up very well here. This movie is just beautiful scene after beautiful scene. Very, very impressive. The problem is all the other stuff. The writing, the acting, the editing, the specifically part of the editing, the ADR. Did I mention the writing? Yeah, it all sucks. This is boring. It is a 2 hour and I believe an 8-minute boring, beautiful shit show of a film. So the general premise of this movie is during our time, our present, there is a major catastrophe that happens. The Earth's crust explodes. That's really not all that significant to the story. All you need to know is fast forward into this time where this movie goes on is sort of a steampunkish future where like our tech back then is considered ancient tech, obviously, but it's still kind of futuristic to stuff they have and so on and so forth. And it's really weird. But so in the steampunk future, you've got giant rolling cities, what they refer to as tractionists, who build these giant rolling cities to go around and gather resources. And like literally in the trailer, they show London, which is this massive city, taking a small little mining group that's in their little kind of small little rolling city. And they just grab it up and ingest it literally for resources and for people. So that is the general premise of the movie. The problem with this movie is nothing is interesting. The character of Hester Shaw, played by Hera Hilmar, she's the woman with the red mask. She looks kind of like a badass or whatever. And she shows up. This is not a spoiler. This is all in the trailer. But she shows up as her little city gets ingested into London. And she stabs Hugo Weaving. And it's like, oh my God, why did she do that? And then the movie is a slow reveal about that, alongside London trying to go after this walled city and take it down, right? To maximize its strength in the world. No one cares. Literally no one cares. It is boring. There is nothing interesting. After she stabs that dude, it is just a hop, skip, and a jump from one beautiful scene to the next, where they go to another engine and things happen and things are exploding and our characters are running towards the screen, and it is boring and it is not interesting. I thought the visuals, again, are the standout. They look really great. I mean, you can't help but appreciate what they did visually. Like I mentioned, Christian Rivers worked on The Hobbit. If you didn't like the Hobbit movies, don't waste your time seeing this, because that's exactly what it's like. It's a lot of bumbling, stumbling, fumbling characters just falling over things and things just exploding behind them, which is what the Hobbit was in a lot of ways. Like, remember that barrel scene down the river? It's exactly like that for 2 hours and 8 goddamn minutes. If I had to say anything positive about it besides the visuals, Jihae Kim is pretty badass, is like this cool sort of like assassin, anti-tractionist person, and she's awesome. She comes in, she's like kicking ass, and she's got like a knife boot and a cool gun and all this other stuff. So that's pretty cool. All the stuff you saw in the trailer is pretty much what she does. But add another 20 minutes to that. I really can't tell you enough not to see this. This is one of those movies that feel like the trailer felt to me like, yeah, this is not going to be good. Yeah, it turns out the trailer was 100% accurate. It was not good. I can't say that the acting is particularly that great because they're not really given anything. Hugo Weaving is a great actor, and he's not interesting. He's just not interesting. He's not bad. He's not good. He's just not interesting. No one in this movie is particularly interesting. Again, the fight scenes with Jihae Kim are probably the most interesting character moments. The movie is trying to, at least it feels like to me, it is trying to produce this point of imperialism, especially considering London is the one sort of going out and grabbing up these smaller minority-driven little countries, literally attacking a country in Asia at the end to try to take its resources. I mean, it couldn't be any more on the nose about imperialism and that sort of thing. And that's kind of an interesting angle, except it's not interesting because it's poorly written and they don't really delve into that at all. Like, we're supposed to feel sorry for the Londoners who are on this giant rolling machine, who are the innocent ones, not, trying to purposely go out and attack people. They're just regular people in London. Except for then when the London, machine attacks these other smaller machines, they're standing on the edge and they're clapping and they're cheering. So it's not, you don't feel sorry for them. In the end, I'm like, all of these people could die. That would be fine. It's just not an interesting movie. This is $100 million or $150 million budget. Besides the visuals, I'm not really sure what they spent the money on. I hope they paid the actors a decent salary because they are not going to make the money back for this. There will not likely be a Mortal Engines 2. And if there is, I won't be reviewing it because I'm not seeing it. This is bad. Like this is one of those movies that in the past, if comic book movies hadn't sort of shifted the calendars, this is a January, February, throw it out, let it burn. Don't tell anybody we made this movie. Hopefully this won't hurt Hugo Weaving's acting career type movie. This movie coming out at this point is going to get way too many eyes on it, and a lot of people are going to notice how bad it is. It is a boring, boring mess. I give it 1 star. It is bad. Do not waste your money. Check it out on Netflix if you have some sort of morbid curiosity, but don't spend your money, your good hard-earned money, on this film at all. Mortal Engines, terrible. And I'll see you guys next time.
You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.